Hello learners, welcome to this video lesson. Today we are going to discuss another topic that is on intelligence and its educational implications. Before starting our discussion, let me to introduce myself. I Dr. Niradhar De, Associate Professor, School of Education, Indira Gandhi National Open University. Welcome you all to this video lesson. Friends, presently we are in the 16th module. The title of the module is Understanding Socio-Psychological Attributes, and in this module 6 important lessons are there. I am just going through this lesson. The first is intelligence and its educational implications. Second lesson is aptitude and its educational implications. Then creativity and its educational implications, motivation and its educational implications, then attitude and its educational implications, and personality and its educational implications. So friends, in this module we will be discussing the attributes, okay, the psychological attributes, the mental attributes, or we can say that so far as the specific philosophy, specific concern of this module is concerned. So these are the socio-psychological attributes. It may be intelligence, aptitude, creativity, motivation, attitude or personality. And we will be discussing in this module that first of all we will try to understand these attributes, the very concept of these attributes. Then we will try to understand the theories, different theories that are related to this attribute, and further we will be discussing what is the use of these attributes so far as teaching learning process is concerned, so far as educational use is concerned. Okay. So, our focus will be on understanding the attributes and the use of the attributes in different educational processes. And now let us focus upon the first lesson, that is intelligence and its educational implications. Friends, before starting our discussion, let me to focus upon some of the learning outcomes, and I am very much hopeful that after going through this video lesson and the content which is given in the 16th module of your course, you will be able to explain the concept of socio-psychological attributes of the children, what are the different socio-psychological attributes and what is the functions of the attributes so far as educational process is concerned, so far as teaching learning process of the children is concerned. And further you will be able to list socio-psychological attributes of the children, what are the different socio-psychological attributes are there. Further you will be able to explain the concept and theories of intelligence as a socio-psychological attribute. What is the concept of socio-psychological attribute? What is the concept of particularly one of the attribute, that is intelligence, and further what are the different theories that are developed relating to intelligence, and what are the different principles that have been developed to understand intelligence. And further you will be able to measure the intelligence of the students. So, how you can measure the intelligence of the students, so that you can say that let one is very intelligent child and other is a mediocre intelligent child, or other is a poor. Okay. So, that is why how you can measure, what technique, what method you have to follow. And further you will be able to discuss the educational implications of intelligence as a socio-psychological attribute. So, these are the certain learning outcomes, and I am sure that you will achieve these learning outcomes after going through the video lesson as well as the part content which is given in the 16th module of your course. Now, let us focus upon the very concept of socio-psychological attributes. Okay. So, what are the concept of it, and why we call that these are the attributes? First of all, to understand behavior of the individuals, we have to observe and measure different socio-psychological attributes of the person, and accordingly we can define behavior. Okay. So, here you see I am not saying only psychological attribute, rather it is socio-psychological attribute. That means the socio-psychological attributes that help us to live our life, that help us to react ourselves, to involve ourselves, to interact ourselves in different social situations. Okay. So, it may be in the community, it may be in the family, it may be in the society, it may be within a group, within the peer, and at the same time it may be managing our personal life also. Okay. And I have already said that school is called as a subsystem of the society. Okay. School is called as the miniature of the society. So, how these socio-psychological attributes that also help to lead our school life, to lead our professional life, to interact in the professional life. Okay. So, that is why this is, we can say that we have to observe and measure different socio-psychological attributes of the person, and accordingly we can define the individual, define behavior of the individual. Further, mostly the socio-psychological attributes, the constructs of cognitive, affective and psychomotor domains of a person. Try to understand. I am just focusing here three different terms. One is the cognitive, then is the affective, then psychomotor. Try to understand what is the meaning of cognitive, then affective and psychomotor. So, when I talk about the socio-psychological attribute, you will find that it caters mostly for the development of these three aspects of the individual: cognitive development of cognitive aspect, or that is called as the cognitive domain, then further development of the affective aspect or affective domain, and development of the psychomotor aspect or psychomotor domain. Friends, when I mean to cognitive domain, it means when we involve ourselves in intellectual activities, in understanding certain concept, in, you can say, even if developing a critical reflection of certain ideas, certain concepts. So, that means it deals knowledge, understanding, or that is called as the comprehension, then analysis, synthesis, application, creative analysis, okay, creative reflection. So, these are the aspect, these are the things when we are involving ourselves, we can say that we are doing the cognitive activities. Okay. And affective activities is related with our heart, you can say. It is related with our feeling, it is related with our attitude. So, friends, only developing cognitive abilities or cognitive domain is not enough. Rather, with understanding the concept, theorizing it, with applying the knowledge that that we have studied, that we have experienced, further we should develop a type of positive attitude. Okay, we should develop a type of feeling. So, that is why affective domain is also you can say a type, it is also the construct of the socio-psychological attributes. Okay. So, we develop our feeling, we develop a positive attitude, then accordingly we work. And further, the next domain, which is the construct of the socio-psychological attribute, that is called as the psychomotor domain. Psychomotor domain, that means it is related with the skills and competencies. It is related with the hands-on activities that we do. Okay. So, that is called as the motor skill. So, when you are able to do certain things, when you are able to construct or create certain things, then you can say that you have achieved the psychomotor domain. So, that is why we can say that the socio-psychological attributes are the constructs of cognitive, affective as well as the psychomotor domain of a person. For example, I have already discussed, I am again highlighting it. For example, socio-psychological attributes, that is intelligence and aptitude, belongs to the cognitive domain, and attitude, self-concept, etc. Pertain to the affective domain, and you can say when you are involving in developing the motor skills, that come under the psychological psychomotor domain. These attributes are the learner's factors which determine learners' engagement and achievement in academic and co-academic activities. So, friends, try to understand here all these psychological attributes that I was taking the name, they help either for our academic development, academic understanding, academic acquisition, and at the same time for co-academic, or you can say that the co-scholastic abilities, for development of co-scholastic abilities. Further, I am just taking the list of some of the socio-psychological attributes that we will be discussing in this module. That is, you can say intelligence as an attribute, aptitude as an attribute, creativity as a socio-psychological attribute, then motivation, attitude and personality. So, all these 6 socio-psychological attributes we will be discussing in this lesson. Now, let us focus upon the first attribute, that is called as the intelligence. So, try to understand the very concept of intelligence as a socio-psychological attribute. Friends, intelligence in general is understood as the ability to think abstractly, solve problems and capacity to learn. Try to understand. So, friends, when we are able to think abstractly with certain ideas and when we are able to solve our problems, it is not only our own problem, rather if the person is having certain ability to solve different problems that he or she is facing. It may be in the family, it may be in the school, it may be outside the school, it may be also in the job field. Okay. So, that is why an intelligent person can easily solve a problem, can develop, can create a type of material, you can say, can express themselves with accuracy, and at the same time can also develop a thinking process abstractly. Okay. Further, various intellectual abilities are expressed by children in different ways, just like musical intelligence. Okay. So, this is also a type of ability. You can say that musical intelligence, those are having inclined, very much inclined to understand music and to practice music, they must have the musical intelligence. Okay. And social intelligence, you will find that the group of people, those are very much interested to do different social activities, different social work. Okay. So, mostly you will find the statesmen, you will find the leaders, you will find the political leaders, they are having mostly the social intelligence. They try to understand the society and accordingly they work for the betterment, for the development of the society. Further, intelligence in sports, many a time you will find that the learners, they are not doing well academically, they are not doing well in the academic examinations, but they are equally doing well in games and sports. You can take the example of many great sports persons. If you ask them, they will say that they were not you can say a superior student in their school life or in their higher education life, but still then they proved themselves that they are the best sports person in this world. Okay. So, this is because that they have the inclination and they understand the sports very well. So, that is why we can say that it is called as the sports intelligence. So, this is also a type of intelligence, and for the academic intelligence is another important aspect. Okay. So, what is academic intelligence? Academic intelligence focuses that how students, how the learners, they understand the concept which is given in their syllabi in different subjects and how they, you can say, recall it and how they practice these theories you can say for solving different problems. So, that is why academic intelligence, that means particularly it may be in the formal education, the students who are doing well in the examination. Okay. So, these are the certain, you can say intellectual abilities are there. So, that is why you cannot fence a boundary that intelligence is related only in study, only in education. Rather, intelligence is required, or there is the need of intelligence, or intelligence works in varieties of fields. Further, if I will explain Spearman's concept on intelligence, I can say that as per Spearman 1904, there is one common underlying factor which remains the same. Okay. So, what in intelligence? So, what is the common underlying fact? He called it the G factor, or that is called as the general factor. Try to understand that what is the general factor. This was the central factor that influences all cognitive abilities in an individual. It varies from individual to individual, that is, it is inter-individual factor. Try to understand. General factor, it may be reasoning, it may be our perception, it may be our understanding. Okay. So, these general factors exist with every individual. Okay. So, that is why these are the common factor, or you can say these are the universal factor. But at the same time, Spearman says that the other factor that varies from one subject test to another was called specific factor, that is called as S factor. Okay. For example, in case of intelligence, specific factors, S factors are just like memory, attention, concentration, and etc. So, here you see, apart from the intellectual abilities, there are other abilities also that requires to acquire knowledge, to develop a type of understanding, and further to practice it, that is called as the S factor. It may be our memory, whether we are able to recall the things or not. Then attention, whether we are putting our full attention to understand a certain concept or not, whether we have concentration in our work or not. So, these are called as the specific factor. Only general factor is not enough, rather when general factor will linked with, attached with the specific factor, then learners can do certain miracle. Further, now let us focus upon, as per Alfred Binet, how intelligence can be measured. Okay. So, whether we can give a quantitative value to intelligence or not, and what parameters, what formulas that we have to use to measure intelligence, that is called as intelligence quotient, IQ. Okay. So, this is the common language that we say in our day to day talking, that what is the IQ of such and such people. So, friends, for measuring IQ, we use the formula that is called as MA by CA into 100. Okay. MA is called as the mental age and CA is called as the chronological age. For example, a child of 10-year-old with mental age of 12 would have an intelligence of, just like we can calculate 12 by 10, because 12 is the mental age and 10 is the chronological age. Chronological age is the real age. It means a 10-year child is able to perform the task which is given or which is meant for the 12-year age group students. So, that is why definitely his or her intelligence is above average, or intelligence is more than his age. So, if I will use the formula, MA is here 12 and CA chronological age is here 10. So, 12 by 10 into 100, that is 120. So, intelligence quotient is here 120, it may be a type of above average or superior intelligence. And when chronological age will more and mental age will less, then definitely intelligence will come. And when mental age will more and chronological age will less, then definitely we will find that intelligence will be high. Now, let us try to understand another theory of intelligence given by Howard Gardner on multiple intelligence. Try to understand that what is the multiple intelligence. Howard Gardner has given 8 types of intelligence in his theory, defined 8 types of intelligence in his theory, in his principle. First is the logical or mathematical intelligence, which is having the example of logical and mathematical example is, it is always with the scientist and the mathematicians. Scientists can solve mathematical problems, and they can solve the logical reasoning or they can think logical also. With the scientists, mathematicians can also do these things. And here the component of multiple intelligence as per Howard Gardner is sensitivity to numbers. Okay, the scientist and the mathematicians who is having the logical and mathematical intelligence, they are very much sensitivity towards numbers, towards different types of patterns, towards reasoning and critical thinking. This is the first theory or first type of intelligence as per Howard Gardner, and the second type of intelligence that is called as the linguistic. This is you will find with the poet, with the author, with the journalist. Okay. And the component of this type of intelligence is this is ability of understanding both written and verbal words as well as memorizing words. Okay. So, how to understand the verbal words, how to memorize it, and accordingly how to present it also. Then further another personality intelligence type is called as the musical intelligence. I have already discussed. Here those are having, or the example can be given just like vocal, those are able to sing a song, or the singer or the lyrist, those can do the lyrist work, the lyrics work. And the components of musical intelligence just like sensitivity to sound, rhythm, pitch, etc. They are able to sing, play and compose music. And for the another type of intelligence that is called as the spatial intelligence. Example of spatial intelligence is navigator, sculptor, architect, driver, astronauts, etc. And the component of this type of personality is ability to visualize objects from different angles. Okay. That is space and different angles, then space it and notice fine details also. So, this is called as the spatial intelligence. And for the another type of intelligence that is called as the bodily kinesthetic. Okay. So, this is related to, if I will put the example, this is related to athlete and dancer, and component is here ability to control one's body movement, then interpersonal, political, interpersonal, politician, leaders, salesperson, etc. So, this is bodily kinesthetic, that means those are involved in different types of athletic work, in different types of other creative work. And further ability to respond intrapersonal, try to understand. Example of the intrapersonal or ability to respond intrapersonal is deep understanding of self, whether we are able to understand ourselves or not. Okay. Whether easily we are getting influenced wrongly by others. Okay. So, if you have a good understanding among yourself, then you can maintain your life in a very smooth way. And the component of ability to respond intrapersonal, that is ability to understand one's own emotion, strength, weaknesses and introspection and self reflection capacities. Okay, I was talking earlier that these are the things that one should take care of it. Then for the naturalistic is another type of intelligence. As per naturalistic, the examples are hunters, farmers, botanists. Those can work with the nature, and the components of naturalistic type of intelligence is ability to recognize flora and fauna. Okay. So, they are involved with the flora and fauna from the very beginning, because they are the nature lover. So, that is why here flora, recognizing flora and fauna is also having a type of intelligence that you will get from the naturalist. Further, now let us focus upon educational implications of intelligence. Let me to first focus upon UNESCO report on learning to be. Okay? The human brain has a very large unused potential. So, friends, God has given, if I will say about Swami Vivekananda's definition, education by mean, education is the manifestation of divine perfection already existing in man. So, that means we have existing perfection, existing knowledge, existing understanding that is given by the God. and you will find that most of the knowledge, most of the understanding is not used, that is in the potential form in our brain. So, that is why UNESCO says that for learning to be, we have to understand our potential abilities, then accordingly we have to involve ourselves in the development of this country. Accordingly, we have to understand ourselves and work for our own development even. The job of education is to materialize these unlimited possibilities of this human brain through teaching and learning. Here, intelligence and other mental attributes contribute for understanding complex concept and pursuing education. Most specifically, I can focus upon the educational implications, that is, school curriculum should be framed in such a way that the students get enough scope in the curriculum to exercise their mental abilities and accordingly practice them. So, that is why such provisions should be there in the curriculum, that teacher should understand the intelligence level of the learners. Then accordingly curriculum can be designed, syllabi can be designed, and teacher can also find a way understand the learner for providing or for designing his or her instruction. And further, teachers should engage themselves in identifying the areas of intelligence of the students and accordingly provide them with further opportunities to work on in the area of their intelligence. So, friends, teachers should understand the students, that in which areas the students are having their own strength or having their weaknesses. So, if the teacher identify the strong point, the areas of strong point of the children, of the students, then definitely you can say that the teacher will engage the students in such activities, in such work, and ultimately you can say that the students in future can do certain miracles, can do certain good things. So, that is why here this is the implications of educational intelligence. Now, friends, let us recapitulate that today we discussed one of the socio-psychological attribute, that is intelligence. We discussed the concept of intelligence first, and further we discussed the theories of intelligence, the principles of intelligence, and we also discussed that how you can measure intelligence, and further we have discussed that what are the educational implications so far as intelligence is concerned. Now, let me to focus upon some of the questions, and I am very much sure that you will get answer of these questions. First of all, what are the different socio-psychological attributes? I have already discussed in this lesson. Then further explain the concept of socio-psychological attributes. I have already discussed that the concept of socio-psychological attributes, you can write an answer to this question. Then what is intelligence? How can you define intelligence? How intelligence helps to think abstractly, to understand the abstract concept. Then explain the concept of G and S factors of intelligence. What is the concept of G factor and what is the concept of S factor? Okay. What is the general factor, which is universal with the person, with the individual, and what is the S factor, specific factor, our willingness, our effort. Then further describe Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. I was just talking that what are the different type of intelligence is there and what is their implications, and further how intelligence can be measured. So, how intelligence can be measured, what formula we can use. I have just repeating it, IQ is MA by CA into 100, and further discuss the educational implications of intelligence. So, how we can establish a type of discussion to understand educational implications of intelligence as a socio-psychological attribute. In our next lesson, we will discuss other topic from this module. Thank you.